In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on November 6, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Samford versus Purdue. The 2023-2024 college basketball season tips off with an intriguing matchup pitting the Southern Conference against the Big Ten in the heart of the Hoosier State. On Monday night, the Samford Bulldogs hit the road to take on the number 3 Purdue Boilermakers. Samford closed out the 2022-2023 season with a 21-11 overall record, but their campaign ended on a sour note with an 85-82 quarterfinal loss to Chattanooga in the Southern Conference tournament. In contrast, Purdue posted a 29-6 record, securing both the regular season and conference tournament titles, only to suffer a stunning defeat as the second number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, falling 63-58 to Fairleigh Dickinson. These teams have met only twice before, with the Boilermakers emerging victorious in both encounters by a combined 56 points. This marks the 3rd meeting between the schools, and Purdue has emerged victorious in both prior contests. Last season, the Boilermakers had a 13-22 against the spread record, while the Bulldogs were 14-14, according to TeamRankings.com. The challenge for Samford in this matchup is the likelihood of facing a motivated and fired-up Purdue squad following last season's embarrassing conclusion. The Boilermakers enter the game ranked number 1 overall in the Ken Palm rankings and are ranked 2nd in adjusted offense. Last year, Purdue opened the season with a 31-point home victory over Milwaukee. Samford's most recent game against a ranked opponent dates back to 2018, when they lost to number 23 Ohio State by a score of 68-50. The new season commences on Monday, with the spotlight on Eddie as he aims to become the first player since Bill Walton to secure back-to-back Consensus Player of the Year awards. While Samford had a strong showing in the SoCon last season, taking on a team of Purdue's caliber represents a significant leap in competition. The Boilermakers have a formidable home advantage, particularly early in the season, and their standout player, Eddie, is expected to pose significant challenges for Samford. Eddie's imposing size provides a distinct advantage inside, likely overwhelming any Bulldog defender. Samford's best strategy to remain competitive would involve collapsing their defense into the paint, forcing Purdue to rely on perimeter shooting. Although the Boilermakers may need to improve their long-range shooting this season, the combination of Eddie's dominance and home court advantage will likely be too much for Samford to handle. Eddie is projected to contribute around 25 points and 12 rebounds, leading Purdue to victory. With Purdue boasting their top 3 offensive players from the previous season, the Bulldogs face a considerable uphill battle, so the Purdue Boilermakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Samford showed a tendency towards the over, with a 14-12-1 record in games with a posted total last season. The Bulldogs ranked 99th in offensive efficiency, 41st in effective field goal percentage, and 157th in turnover percentage, although they were 195th in offensive rebounding percentage. Samford also played at an above-average tempo, ranking 132nd with an average of 68.2 possessions per contest, according to Ken Palm. Conversely, Purdue leaned towards the under, posting a 17-13-1 mark in games with a posted total last season. The Boilermakers excelled in offensive efficiency, ranking 12th in the nation, while their defense was 24th. They were 102nd in effective field goal percentage, 100th in turnover percentage, and 3rd in offensive rebounding percentage. In terms of tempo, they were below average, ranking 324th with 64.2 possessions per game. Last season, the over was 15-12-1 in Samford's games, while it was 15-20 when Purdue played. The main reason behind this trend was Purdue's strong defense. On 9 occasions, the Boilermakers held their opponents to 56 points or fewer, with the lowest point total allowed being 39. Samford is likely to face difficulties against Eddie, much like other teams, which will force them to rely on lower percentage perimeter shots. It's expected that Purdue's offense will perform well, but to what extent is the question. Given that this is just the first game of the season, a substantial lead in the second half might lead to early rest for the starters, which could temper Purdue's scoring. This total may be set a bit high, considering that Samford might find it challenging to put up points on the board. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Northern Arizona versus Connecticut. Northern Arizona is set to kick off the season with a bang as they travel to the East Coast to take on the defending national champion Connecticut on Monday night. The Lumberjacks struggled, finishing 9th in the Big Sky with a losing record for the 3rd consecutive season. On the other hand, the 6th-ranked Huskies secured a 4th-place finish in the Big East and then embarked on an impressive NCAA tournament run, culminating in their 5th national championship. Their title defense commences with a tip-off at Gampel Pavilion. Northern Arizona enters this season with high expectations, fueled by their belief that they can capture their conference title. They did lose some key talent from last season, notably Jalen Cone, who averaged 18 points per game. Returning players like Carson Tote and Liam Lloyd will play pivotal roles, with Connor Basham joining from Pepperdine, expected to make a significant impact. To stay competitive in this game, Northern Arizona must find their shooting rhythm early. Connecticut, fresh off a national championship win, aims for another title. However, they will be without key players from last season, including Adama Sanogo, Jordan Hawkins, and Andre Jackson Jr., all of whom played crucial roles. Replacing this trio presents a significant challenge. Cam Spencer, previously a standout three-point shooter for Rutgers, has joined Connecticut and is expected to be a key starter for the upcoming season. This contest marks the first ever meeting between these two programs. While Connecticut has seen the departure of Adama Sanogo and Jordan Hawkins, the spread still seems relatively low. The Huskies traditionally boast a deep and talented roster, with their incoming freshman class expected to contribute immediately. Northern Arizona faces the daunting task of traveling across the country to play in front of a hostile crowd and witness Connecticut raise their national championship banner just before the game. The Lumberjacks' last encounter with a ranked opponent resulted in a 25-point loss against number 4 Texas last season. Considering they've lost key players from that team and face uncertainty about their offensive replacements, this game doesn't bode well for them. The Lumberjacks had a 3-12 straight-up road record last year but performed admirably against the spread with a 20-12-1 record overall, per TeamRankings.com. In contrast, Connecticut proved to be a strong betting team last season, boasting a 27-11-1 against the spread record and an 11-5-1 against the spread record as the home team. So the Connecticut Huskies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams trended towards the over last season, with Connecticut games going 21-18 and Northern Arizona games going 21-12. Last season, both teams averaged over 70 points per game, and despite losing some top scorers, they possess the depth and transfer portal resources to maintain their offensive capabilities. Even if they see a slight dip in scoring output, both squads should still perform well. Connecticut has scored no less than 87 points in their last 4 season openers, showcasing their offensive prowess. Northern Arizona, on the other hand, heavily relies on offense for victories, averaging a solid 73 points last season and ranking in the top third among 350 teams in terms of points per 100 possessions, according to Basketball Reference. They have a penchant for three-point attempts, averaging 23 per game. Connecticut's offense is not expected to falter as they open the season ranked 8th in adjusted offensive efficiency, according to Ken Palm. Their potent scoring led them to a national championship as they averaged 79 points and attempted an average of 24 three-pointers per game. The Lumberjacks struggled defensively last year, particularly in defending the three-point line, where they ranked 254th. With the over going 5-0 in the Lumberjacks' last 5 games, it's expected that the Huskies will come out strong under a new banner, resulting in a barrage of scoring. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Monroe versus Houston. The Louisiana Monroe Warhawks make their way to the Fertitta Center in Houston to face the Houston Cougars in the opening game of the college basketball regular season for both teams. In the previous season, Louisiana Monroe had a record of 11-21, while Houston concluded with an impressive 33-4 record. Louisiana Monroe's 2022-2023 campaign resulted in an 11-21 overall record, including a 7-11 mark in Sun Belt Conference matchups. The Warhawks return only 2 starters, starters from the previous season, Tyrick Lockyer and Jamari Blackman. Lockyer, the leading scorer for Louisiana Monroe last year, averaged 14 points per game and provided 2.7 assists per contest. Meanwhile, Jamari Blackman was the second highest scorer for the Warhawks, contributing 13 points per game and leading the team with 3.1 assists per game. To maintain competitiveness, Louisiana Monroe relies on the return of several experienced reserves from the previous season, including Nikametsk-Varishvili, Jacob Wilson, and Jalen Bolden. These players will play crucial roles in supporting the only two returning starters, Lockyer and Blackman. The Warhawks have also bolstered their roster with new additions, such as Mackay Willis from Fairfield and Ad Dedew from UAB. On the other side, Houston enjoyed an impressive 33-4 overall record last season, with a dominant 17-1 performance in American Athletic Conference play. While they lost key contributors, including leading scorer Marcus Sasser and second leading scorer Jarius Walker, they retained two double-digit scorers in Jamal Shedd and Jaywan Roberts. Furthermore, the Cougars saw the arrival of new talent through recruiting and transfers. 4 freshmen joined the team, alongside notable senior guard additions like L.J. Cryer from Baylor and Damian Dunn from Temple, both of whom previously averaged double figures with their respective schools. Houston also acquired senior guard Mylik Wilson, who previously played for Texas Tech. The outcome of this matchup strongly favors the Houston Cougars. The only question lies in whether they can cover a substantial double-digit spread, and it is highly probable that they can. Houston boasts considerable offensive firepower with 2 returning double-digit scorers and the addition of talented backcourt players like L.J. Cryer and Damian Dunn. In contrast, Louisiana Monroe is in a rebuilding phase, returning only 2 starters from last season and relying on a mix of reserves and transfers. The talent gap between the two teams is evident, with Houston winning 33 of 37 games last season compared to Louisiana Monroe's 22 losses out of 33 games. Additionally, Louisiana Monroe only managed to cover the spread in one of their last 5 games last season. So the Houston Cougars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Expect Houston's formidable defense to stifle the Louisiana Monroe offense, allowing the Cougars to comfortably control the game. While Houston is likely to maintain a strong scoring effort, they are expected to ease off the gas in the second half, resulting in a total score under the set line. Historical trends indicate that the total has gone under in each of the last 5 games in which Houston faced opponents from the Sun Belt Conference. Furthermore, the total also finished under in each of the last 5 games when Houston played on a Monday, which could carry significance in the opening game of the regular season. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.